Hello all you motorcycle riding, dusty trail chasing, nomadic tent dwelling adventurers. Welcome to Two Wheels in a Tent Adventure Calls, your source of inspiration and information to help make your motorcycle adventure dreams a reality. In today's video, we've got 15 tips helping you overcome the fear and anxiety of camping. So for your first camp, I would suggest getting a paid campground that is set up with other people around. We'll have some amenities over here to the left. There's a bathroom and a shower. There's a fire pit. You will see to the right that there's a pavilion which had places to charge things. What's up?
Oh, dude.
How's it going?
Good. Been a while.
It's been forever. Tip number 2. Get over the fear of camping. Take a buddy with you. There's me. There's my buddy. Tip number 3 is going to be about setting up your camp and position of your tent. As you can see, here's a table. That's not scary. This is the entrance here. So I put my head towards the entrance. It's very important to put the tent opening, the door, towards something not scary. In this case, we have the table. The back of the tent towards whatever might be scary or possible animal pathways. For tip number 4, I would suggest using your Rainfly. Many of us fantasize about sleeping without the Rainfly on and looking at the stars, which is great. But if you are having some anxiety about camping, then putting the Rainfly on acts as a barrier. Is it really safer? Not necessarily, but it does make it feel safer. It's just a barrier between you and the outside. Plus, you don't want to wake up with rain coming into your tent, soaking everything on your first camp. Use your door and your vents. Most tents will come with a vent as little windows so that you don't have to get out of your tent to check on your bike when you hear a sound. For tip number 5, secure your campsite. By that I mean bring your belongings inside a vestibule. You can bring most of your stuff inside the tent. Secure them being right by you. Many tents have nets that you can hang clothing or bags for your tent. Also, if you have panniers that lock, go ahead and lock those up, as well as your bike. For extra security, you can throw a cover on, like Tim has done here. You have cable systems you can lock your panniers up with. And you can turn your bike's handlebars all the way to the left, turn the key all the way to the left, locking your handlebars. Before you go to bed, secure your campsite, bike, and your belongings in the tent and or vestibule. Tip number 6, have a campfire. If you ever watched Survivor Man, no, not Bear Grylls, but Survivor Man, the original, the real man, he said that on his 7-day survival trips, he always felt so much better once he got a fire going. It brings some sort of morality, sense of peace and safety. Just do it safely, make sure that you are able to burn, and if you have a fire pit, use the fire pit. Make sure you put the fire out, dead out, before you go to bed. You don't want to burn down the forest. You don't want to burn down your tent. For tip number 7, I would say be inside your tent before it's pitch black. You get used to your surroundings. You're not looking around pitch dark and hearing sounds that you don't hear when you're home in your bed. Tip number 8 is build a cocoon for yourself. You can use your gear, your riding clothing, etc., helmet, to kind of cocoon you in. Again, adding a mental barrier between the door and the outside. Just one more thing to help you have a little peace. Tip number 9, I would say just sit before it gets dark and identify the sounds of your surrounding area. You have a chipmunk, maybe an elk or deer, maybe a river. Just get used to the sounds that are not with you when you're home in your bed, but the chirping of birds, rivers flowing, maybe if you got a neighbor, kind of them. Just get used to your surrounding sounds, and identifying what they are helps to bring a little peace of mind. For tip number 10, I would say bring an InReach or a Spot or a Zoleo, because a lot of campgrounds do not have service. With one of these paired to your phone, you may be able to text back and forth with your loved one. These do require a plan to be able to do that. Also, these can call for rescue should you need that. For tip number 11, I would say position your bike. And by that I mean cut off the entrance to your campground like we did here. Or if I was solo, I would have most likely brought my bike between this table and that tree so that it blocked off anybody walking right up onto my tent. Just make sure that it's not somewhere that it will fall over onto your tent, especially when you're camping in like sand. These are considerations in uneven ground, so make sure that it would lean away from your tent if you can, and far enough away that if it did tip over, that it did not land on your head. Tip number 12 is pretty simple. Just bring something to do, like a book to read or a card game, to keep you occupied and help make your camp more enjoyable. Tip number 13 would be bring a meal to make. That can be like a mountain house or dehydrated, or just some fresh groceries you picked up on the way, but something to cook at camp. Again, keeps you occupied, makes it a little more fun. Key is clean up your mess and keep it away from your camp when you're dealing with food, because big bad bears are not the company that we want to keep when we're trying to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life. We don't need a bear entering our camp. I just heard a bear! For many of us, it is wild animals that scare us. But don't be afraid. Not all wild animals are scary. Hi, buddy. Hi. That's our neighbor's dog. Tip number 14 I got from my buddy Tim Collins, 40 times around. FTA Adventures. When you're at camp, you can do maintenance on your bike or on your clothing. You can wash stuff in the river. Just things to keep you busy. So that's one I got from Tim. And that's tip number 14 to help you be less scared while you're camping and enjoy it more. And tip number 15, the final one, is to camp often. Get out and do it. The more you do it, the more comfortable you become, and the less anxiety and fear that you have involved with camping. So the more you do it, it just becomes kind of second nature. So those are my tips to help you overcome fear, anxiety, and excuses to get out, get on your bike, and get out motocamping, because there's a lot of beautiful places to see, just like this that we stumbled onto last night instead of a hotel. Pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that helped. If you have any tips that help you overcome fear or anxiety while camping, either solo or with a group, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, hit the bell, all the YouTube stuff. Thanks again. Until later, come join the adventure, baby.